This is Texans TV.
Welcome into Texans 360. Hope you had an amazing and restful bye. We've been very busy putting great shows together like we always have. Got a great one for you once again because we've got Will Anderson mic'd up. I have a one-on-one with Jimmie Ward. But first, let's check in with the head coach, DeMeco Ryans, find out what he's looking forward to for Sunday's game at Carolina.
Here in the Hyundai Texans radio studio, it's head coach DeMeco Ryans. Back from the bye. Coach, how's it going?
Going great. Refreshed.
Yeah. So coming back from the bye, you get that extra Monday practice. So how important is that? What do you like to get done in that Monday practice that you don't normally get? You're coming off a game usually on a Monday.
Right. It's important for us to get our guys out and just get them moving around. You know, guys took a little break there over the past weekend, so just wanted to get them back moving. All right, get some calls in to get their minds, all right, back adjusted to communicating and being on the same page. So it was a good practice for us, just going against each other, just good on good. Not much Carolina prep today. We'll continue our normal preparation as we go throughout the week.
All right, Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, there's going to be a lot of talk about this. You're going to get a lot of questions. Let us be the first. Maybe we're not the first. But what about that dynamic when you see these two quarterbacks that I know you spent a lot of time looking at prior to the draft?
Right, it'll be a cool game for both of those guys. They spent a lot of time together throughout the draft process. They actually trained together in California, so they are really close friends, and they really root for one another. So it'll be a good opportunity for both of these guys, you know, to have a big matchup, right? Number one versus number two, everybody will make it that matchup. Those guys are really close friends. And one thing, you know, just in scouting those guys and watching them both really good quarterbacks. I say both had a lot of valuable experience in college. They played a lot of games, and I think that's why both guys were selected where they were selected, because of the experience they had. They went through ups and downs, both on the field and off the field in their personal lives. So both guys are just really great human beings as well off the field. Two really good dudes who you want to spend time with those guys. The more you talk to them, you want to spend more time with them because they're just such great people, and they're also great quarterbacks as well.
Coach, as you went through the bye week, how much time did you spend on Carolina versus how much you spent self-scouting? Did you look at Carolina, as you talked about today, it was good to work on ourselves and do that? Do you kind of want to stay on a game routine with Carolina, or did you spend some time with Carolina during the off week as well, or did you do more self-scouting?
Yeah, most of my time during the bye week was spent on ourselves, just self-scouting to see where can we get better. Normally, you don't get that time throughout the season just to, you know, take a breath, step back, and see, okay, what have we done well, and where are the areas we can improve on? And so looking at it, I mean, man, first 6 weeks we did a lot of things really well, played some good ball, but there's such a ton of room for improvement that excites me going into the bye week. I know how much better we can be as a team, so I'm encouraged looking forward.
You're in the top half of the league against the run now, and you're trending in the right direction last couple of games. What goes into being good against the run, Coach? Yeah,
it starts with the physical mindset of our edge players. So it starts with Will and with Grenard on the edge. Like, are they setting the edge violently? Now that funnels that ball inside and allows everyone inside to go and make plays. So that mindset, edge setting, and guys playing discipline when it comes in the middle. Like, are you in the proper gap fit, exactly where you're supposed to be? Or are you olaying and playing behind blocks? And that's when you create vertical seams in a defense, and that's when you get big runs hit on you. So for us, it's everybody being sound. It's a physical mindset. Are we knocking the opponent back, right, to create some negative plays in the run game?
All right, now what about the rust versus rest aspect of things coming out of the bye? You mentioned having the Monday to get reacclimated and all that, but when you hit the field on Sunday, coming off a bye, what do you notice as a coach? And they're coming off a bye as well, so I guess it cancels each other out. I mean, how does that work?
Right, I think you notice coming off a bye, like, the slow starts.
Okay.
And it's a given. You have slow starts, both offenses, defense. They start kind of slow. So for me, is you attack it. Hopefully we knock the rust off today.
Yeah.
And we want to attack it and make sure that's at the forefront of our mind. Like, hey, we have to start this game fast. Right? We have to start fast. And we have to finish as well. Always you have to finish, but you can't allow, just because we're coming off a bye, we can't go out, as I call it, you can't go out there sleepwalking. Like, you got to come out ready to go from the start.
Coach, thanks a lot. Good luck this week.
Thank you, guys.
DeMeco Ryans looking forward to the challenge on Sunday. as C.J. Stroud looks to get a winning record for the first time this season, and he will do so with the help of his offensive line, Shaq Mason. He's been holding it down at right guard all season long. Let's find out a little bit more about his journey into the NFL in this week's My Story, My Game.
I'm from Columbia, Tennessee. Childhood, I was raised by a single mother. My mom raised me and my brother. Played football, basketball, and baseball. It was all because my mom wanted to keep me busy, keep my mind off other things, and I know she's happy with that decision. I played at Columbia Central High School. I honestly played running back when I first started. As I got older, I got bigger, so I was a lineman. I say probably sophomore year of high school is when I realized that I was a little better than a lot of the guys I was going against. So that's when I knew I had a possible chance of playing at the next level. Out of high school, Georgia Tech they were my first offer after my junior season. Other schools were interested but had my mind set on Tech. Glad I did because they were the first ones to show interest in me, and glad I stuck true to that decision, and it all paid off.
And they're going right behind Shaq Mason. Can't say enough about the job that he's done. We talked to the Georgia coaches, and Jeremy Pruitt singled out Shaq Mason.
Atlanta's a great city. Reminds me a lot of Houston, honestly. But I had a great time at Tech. We were, an average team majority, but my senior year, I think, was our best year where we won the Orange Bowl. So it was a great time there. Great 4 years. Didn't get a combine invite, but I got a Senior Bowl invite. So me going to the Senior Bowl kind of, showed scouts that I could do the things that a traditional lineman can do. I got drafted by New England in the 4th round. It was a great experience. I was there 7 years, played in 3 Super Bowls, won 2. That culture was really, set on perfection and excellence, and everybody knows that it was going to be hard, but I think winning was so much more fun than whatever we had to do in the off season or workouts or whatever. So I think guys in the locker room really bonded over the fact that you're going to get wins, and every year you're going to have a possibility of winning the World Championship. I think every kid dreams of playing professionally, but as you grow older, you realize that it's not as likely as some may think. So I'm blessed, blessed and highly favored, man, to be in this position, to be going into my 9th season. I think the game of football honestly has changed my life and set up, generational wealth for my kids. So I'm thankful, man. Getting my feet wet in Houston. I love the city, man. Love the food, of course. I mean, it's been fun. I'm glad, glad I'm here. I mean, I look to bring, championship mindset, a vet in the room the guys can lean on, a lead by example type of guy. Set this program on the track that it needs to be on and get everything started back up. That's the part that I know I can thrive on. Just kind of let the guys follow my lead and think we can get there.
Welcome back to Texans 360. We are in the Ford studio, and coming out of the bye week, we're going to catch up with General Manager Nick Caserio. He's going to chat about how the season's gone so far and the remaining 11 games and what he expects to see from this team.
Visiting with us now in the Hyundai Texans radio studio, it's Executive Vice President and General Manager Nick Caserio. Nick, back from the bye. How's it going?
Fellas, good to be here. Ready to go?
Great to be back in action. So what are some of the things we should look for coming out of the bye, things you have to be careful about, and things you benefit from after the bye?
The big thing with the bye, it just enables you to kind of recalibrate collectively as a team. Players, coaches, staff. Take advantage of the handful of days that we had off. Came back in the building, on Monday, had practice, and really kind of get ready to go. So you really go back into sort of regular season, in-season, game week preparation, kind of go through your process, and really just take it one game at a time, 1 week at a time. So understand what we need to do each week relative to the opponent, work on some of the things or incorporate some of the things that maybe we can incorporate that might enhance our overall ability as a team. So essentially it's just a deep breath more than anything else. You're not going to do anything drastically different. So now it's just come back with the right mindset and the right mentality, understand we have a pretty significant stretch of games in front of us.
What was the bye week like, and kind of merging those two, kind of taking a look at where the team is, where, talking with DeMeco, I know you talked about that last time. You guys talked about some of the future things and on to next year, all that kind of stuff. But how was the bye week for you from that perspective, kind of looking at the team now and then looking at some future college prospects?
Yeah, you're always balancing, I would say, a little bit of everything. Last week was really spent on kind of going through our team, going through some of the things that have happened the first 6 games, starting to work on Carolina, and then just taking the information in on some of the college prospects as well, which is part of kind of the weekly process. So I'd say in the short term, I'd say for the duration here, the primary focus will be on this season and this team. We'll kind of worry about next year relative to what that team's going to look like. Trade deadline's coming up here, so there might be an opportunity to add a player that we feel can help our team. If there isn't, we feel comfortable with the players that are in the building. So there'll be some moving parts. And then once you get through the trade deadline, then essentially if you release a player, everybody goes through waivers. So if you're releasing players, we talked about this a few weeks ago, moving guys on and off the roster, you might have to expose them a little bit more to the rest of the league. So I think the big thing will be week to week, what do we need to do, both from a personnel standpoint, who's available, do we have to go out and find a replacement player? And then while we're doing that, once we get into December, we'll kind of start our initial round of sort of draft meetings, which is really more of an informational meeting. Like, what do we need to find out about said prospects once January, February roll around?
You don't know who's really available until you find out. Do you call them? Do they call you? I got to imagine it's a combination, but how do those go down, Nick?
Yeah, it's really more of everybody's probably going to talk to everybody here at some point. Essentially, we'll touch base with every team in the league. They'll reach out to us. Hey, what's going on? Is there any players that might be available? I think we've taken the standpoint, we're not shopping any players. So you're just, if a team asks about said player, then we talk about it. What's our alternative? What's our option if we move on from the player, if we keep the player? So I would say there's no, template of how exactly it's going to go. I think towards the end of the week, you'll probably have an idea of A, who's looking, B, who may be available, and there might be a match or might not be a match. So some of it will be relevant to us. Quite frankly, some of it won't be relevant to us.
My assumption is that you did do some work on Bryce Young. What did you see from Bryce as a college prospect that he's now taking into his NFL game? What have you seen from Bryce thus far?
Yeah, Bryce is a really instinctive player. I mean, he has a good understanding, of space and where to go with the football, and his ability to sort of maneuver within the pocket. Probably a little bit underrated. He's accurate. He's anticipatory. I think against whoever it was, he had, I think it was Minnesota, 18 completions in a row. So, you're certainly doing some things well. So I'd say Bryce has played pretty similarly to what he showed at, Alabama. He's starting to take a little bit better care of the football, which is always a big thing. Bryce is going to be a good player probably for a long period of time. So, yeah, we'll see kind of what it looks like on Sunday.
All right, Nick, good luck. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, fellas.
You know what I'm bringing today. You know what I'm bringing today. Go. They don't score, they don't win. Simple as that.
Now here's the snap. The give to Camara and brought down to the backfield. They blast it. They stop it.
Keep thrashing. Keep thrashing. Keep thrashing. Houston, this for y'all. We love the fans, man. We love y'all. Thank y'all for all the support and love, man.
Great stuff from the number 3 overall pick, Will Anderson. Love seeing him mic'd up on the field. Want to see plenty more of that action. And we also caught up with another guy who likes to talk on the field. Safety Jimmie Ward. I had a chance to go one-on-one with him in this week's Deep Slant. It's a Deep Slant 101 presented by Xfinity, and my guest this week, Jimmie Ward, number one in our hearts, number 1 on the field. Year 10 for you, Jimmie. First of all, how was your bye week?
Bye week was great. Caught up on some rest, got to see some friends and family, and I watched a lot of film.
And you watched a lot of film. You're so humble because I know exactly where you were in the bye week. You went back home to Mobile, Alabama.
Oh, yes.
Got your number retired, your jersey retired. Tell me a little bit about that. How did that happen?
It took them 10 years to do it.
But you've been out of high school longer than 10 years.
Thank you, though. I appreciate it. Shout out to W.P. Davidson High School. But
W.P. Davidson High School.
Yes, I got my jersey, 46 retired, along with my fellow ex-teammate, Jaquasi Tart.
Okay.
He wore number 6 in high school, and they did a ceremony before the game. Took probably like 15 to 20 minutes. I got to flip the coin. Got to see the new studs in high school play ball, and my high school definitely got to win. Yes, and
you're like a good luck charm for them.
Oh yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. All right, so you went back to your old high school. Are there any other famous alumni whose numbers are retired there?
Probably AJ McCarron. Maybe
okay.
Solomon Patton. Probably Justin Fowler from Viger. Probably Mark Barron. He went to St. Paul's along with A.J. McCarron.
A.J. McCarron was here for a minute. I can't remember if he got it retired while he was with the Texans.
T.J. Yeldon from Daphne High School. Maybe Julio Jones. Maybe.
I like Julio Jones.
I can keep naming it. It's a lot of.
Wow, that's really good company that you keep. There's a lot of numbers that can't be worn anymore, it sounds like.
Yeah.
At W.P. Davidson. All right, so you were born in Wisconsin. You went to high school in Alabama. Mm-hmm. Went to college in Northern Illinois. So, like, what's considered home for you, like, outside of playing football?
I would say Mobile, Alabama.
Mobile.
Racine, Wisconsin feels like home. Chicago, Illinois feel like home. Been in Cali for 9 years. I'm not going to say it feel like home, but I'm familiar with that area, Bay Area.
Okay.
In Houston, Texas. Oh.
How do you like Houston?
And I love Houston.
Yeah.
I love Houston.
I would think it's weird that you played your entire career with one team, which is like unusual anyway in the NFL. And then like you're a 10-year veteran, but you're almost like starting all over again in a new city. What was that whole process like for you?
It was new. Definitely. I had to get used to the heat, obviously.
Oh, for sure.
I feel like you can never get used to the heat. It's like I used to play with it when I was young, play like in the heat, but now compared to when I'm older and I'm like in my 30s, like it took some adjustment, took some time.
Because Mobile is not like as hot as Houston, I would imagine.
I thought it was hot.
It's pretty hot, but not like this.
Yeah, no,
this was unseasoned. This was a crazy summer though, with all the 100-degree temps in training camp.
I keep hearing about that, but
I thought it was hot, and I've lived here for a minute, so
seems like the norm here.
All right. I was looking at some of your old highlights. Your first career interception, Jay Cutler in Chicago, 2015. And what I loved about this play was your celebration. Do you remember what you did?
Hit a front flip.
You did a front flip, yeah. In the moment, you're like, this is what I'm going to do, or I've been thinking about this when I get my first interception. It's going to be something gymnastics-y.
It just happened.
It just, organic.
Yeah, I was very excited. I just wanted to look. As I flipped, I jumped and I was smiling. I was looking at Jake. He had that smirk on that he always had when he throw an interception. He just.
Yeah. You've played against a lot of great players in your 10-year career. Anyone that really stands out to you or that you like really had fun battling against?
Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh, Larry Fitzgerald, of course.
Such a competitor. Like I don't hit him so many different ways, and he got up. I want to say I tore something in his knee one time, and he finished the game, and they ended up winning.
Wow.
Like, Larry Fitzgerald is just, oh, my God. He's such a great player. And obviously, he's going to go in the Hall of Fame, but I got so much respect for the guy.
How about for you for the rest of the year? You got 11 games left. I mean, this team is, people are talking about this team differently than they were in the offseason. Now it's, a very different mindset with a 3-3 record. What about for you personally? Like, how do you sort of maintain what this defense has been able to do through the first 6 games?
Really just take one day and 1 week at a time. You really can't look ahead in this game. Things change in this game fast. Like, I don't witness teams that went 0-5 and next thing you know, win 10 straight. I don't see teams go 8-0 and next thing you know, they just start losing and miss the playoffs. So, like, I was seeing so much football and so much change just, in my 10 years of playing NFL ball that you really can't get too high and you can't get too low in this game. You just got to remain humble and just, continue to take it by week.
All right, Jimmie. Well, it's a pleasure getting to know you a little bit better. Apex Predator, Always a pleasure. Best of luck for the rest of the season.
All right, thank you.
Final segment of Texans 360 rolls on. The Texans are always doing great things out and about in the community. This week was no different. They had Campeón de la Comunidad, and it was a fun event. Take a look.
The Houston Texans have recognized local Hispanic leaders for their efforts to make our community a better place to live and work. The Texans have teamed up with Modelo to create the Houston Texans Campeón de la Comunidad Award. This award honors outstanding leaders in the Hispanic community who are making a positive impact on the city of Houston through service and dedication to a local nonprofit. Go Texans! This year, the award was given to Claudia Ortega Hoga, Vice Chair of Avance Houston, whose main goal is to help families achieve economic and educational success by offering a wide selection of parenting and literacy programs.
You know, I've known of Avance for many years, and I have always been very, very impressed of how they really help the family as a whole. I am very happy to see that the funds will go directly to them, because they're not only helping them get the life skills that they need, but they're also helping them finish their GED.
During the win over the New Orleans Saints, Claudia, along with 2 other finalists, were given a total of $25,000 to the nonprofit of their choice.
I'm so excited and honored to receive the 2023 Campeón de la Comunidad Houston, Texas, presented by Modelo. This is an honor, this is a privilege, and I'm so excited that these funds will go to a nonprofit. And I am so excited, estoy muy contenta y muy emocionada. Gracias.
That's going to do it for Texans 360. The Texans are back at home against Tampa Bay next week. If you want your tickets, go to HoustonTexans.com/tickets. Special thanks to Josh Sy and all of you watching. Thanks so much. And as always, go Texans.